All right. So, what's up, guys? Look at that. I got a lot of happy, smiling faces. You should be, man. We got an incredible guest speaker tonight. Chelsea, I was actually just talking to Rob just a little bit ago. It's so funny because I texted him, I don't know, 5 days ago, and he just now got back to me and like, all right, he's one of those guys, huh? So,
No, it was one of those weeks. Man, it's like we do personal development to get through weeks like the one we just had.
yeah, he was telling me a little bit about what's going on. It's crazy, man. A lot of stuff. It's always something though, isn't it? There's always something going on. But but I saw everything is good with you guys, and everything is good with the move to North Carolina, right?
Yes, sir. We're right north of Charlotte in like the Lake Norman area.
Yeah. So we actually almost moved to Lake Norman, believe it or not. Yeah.
It's
So
beautiful. The state income taxes are not as beautiful as Texas and Florida and Tennessee, but
and that was the ultimate decision. That's why we moved to Texas. So um, at least we both have pretty good weather for the most part. But so yeah, so I'm gonna introduce you real quick to my team, Team Next Level. By the way, I don't even know if you knew that was my team name, but that's my team name.
oh yes, I did. Come on.
Okay, I don't know, just making sure. But so my whole goal was to. So I just started up like a new type of team calls, right? So instead of me doing all the talking like I used to do, I decided, you know what, I need to shut my mouth for a little bit. I need to bring on other people who are killing the business right now. So I go to some of my leaders, and I was actually going to reach out to you anyways. And I'm like, all right, guys, who do you want on our call? Who is the one person that you would love to hear from? There's like Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. I'm like, all right, well, I was going to ask her anyways. So that just verifies where I was going with it, and here you are. So, first of all, I appreciate you being on this call. I know that you're busy, and I appreciate you taking the time out of the evening just to hop on here and share some knowledge with my team. I mean, it doesn't benefit you in any way. So it's just I got a lot of respect for you, got a lot of respect for Rob, and like I said, I really appreciate it, and I know the rest of the team truly, truly does appreciate it as well. But I want to introduce you, so I'm going to have to go back because your list of accolades here are like massive. Um, hold on a second, I got to bring up Facebook real quick. So so it's crazy. I didn't know that Rob lost 100 pounds, but Rob lost 100 pounds. She put that in there. You lost 55 pounds with Beachbody. You're a two-time elite, 45 months in Success Club, which is a lot. You're an executive leader, which is the highest that you can achieve if you guys didn't know that. You're also a 9-star, 4-star, a 1-star, and a diamond. So you have 4 business centers, and she's also a fellow Million Club member. So Chelsea, man, I've had the privilege of kind of watching Chelsea over the years from afar, right? And I've always known who she is, and I've seen you just go from just starting out to where you are now, and I'm just so impressed with what you do. And the most important part about that is just how you do it. And it's, to me, integrity is just everything. And I always watch what you and Rob do. And there's just nothing but respect for what you guys do and what you put out there. And you guys are as real gets. And that's what I love the most about you guys. You're real people, man. Like, you are what you say you are and what you show yourself to be. And there is nothing but, whoa, what was that? Okay. I thought I had everybody muted. I do. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so sorry guys, I'm not sure what that was, but yeah, anyways, I mean, I just got a lot of respect for you guys, and I really appreciate you hopping on. So I'm just gonna stop talking, and I'm just gonna give it to you, and I'll let you share some knowledge with the team, and maybe share a little bit about your story, because some people just don't know who you are. So
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, thank you. And Josh, it's funny. I can't believe I don't know how it's possible to not know who you are in this business. I know that this network keeps getting older and older and older. And I've been in this business since 2011, and I feel like I sometimes don't even know where I am in this network because we've had so much growth. But What I do know is, you guys, not only do I know you, but I know the leaders. I mean, I just am like blown away at how many leaders you have in your organization that have personally helped me. Personally, I stand on your shoulders. I stand on their shoulders. I see Stephanie. I see Michael. I see Julie. I know Brooke is on. Stacy. I mean, there's so many people, and excuse me if I've missed somebody that I've interacted with, but I don't know any other business that we get the opportunity to share so much about what we're doing, why it's working, how we figured it out. And I remember studying you. I remember studying all the leaders. I know, especially because you worked so closely with Hillary when I first got started, Hillary Kelly. I stand on your shoulders, and I don't think that I say thank you enough, and thank you to everybody. So I hope that you guys know, even though I don't benefit from this, I truly do, because I have learned so much from you guys. And so, and the guest speakers on my team's team calls, not only we made a recent switch, and I have just been so filled up with what other guest speakers have poured into my team. So I want to share that with you guys, that I'm acting as your upline or your mentor, or whatever I can offer. I just hope that it's something that will add value to you. And if it's not relevant to you right now in your business, that you can somehow share it with someone in your team or in your life that will be relevant. Because I know that Instagram stories is not for everyone. Not every platform is for everyone. So if it's not right for you, hopefully you can use this information to share with somebody on your team that could benefit from this. So I'm going to switch back and forth from my PowerPoint. But I just want to thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And Josh, thank you so much for inviting me, because this is it's a big deal to be asked to be on this team call. So I prepared a slide and everything. So these are the photos that laid the foundation for the reason I'm here. My parents bought me Turbo Jam for $140 or $130 back in 2005. I had begged them for that, and they had bought me DVDs in the past, but $130 DVD set, like, as for a high schooler, that just, I was a junior in high school at that point. I'm 27 now. And I begged them for it because I just saw this bright, beautiful, bubbly, crazy Shalene, and I had no idea what she was on, but I wanted to be a part of it. And at that time, I was fit. I was a size 0. I was an athlete. I was a dancer. Weight was never an issue for me until the summer after my freshman year of college. I'm the oldest of 3, and I've always felt the pressure to perform, the pressure to be that perfect student, type A, full scholarship to, private university. That just kind of like that pressure, that honor student persona was what I was dealing with. And it was self-inflicted. It definitely wasn't something my parents put on me. But I was in a very, let me switch back to my face, a very toxic relationship my freshman year of college. And it resulted in a relationship that ended, but was emotionally and physically and mentally abusive. And later, what I had learned after putting on 50 pounds in a year and a half to 2 years after being healthy my entire life, was I was putting on that weight as a boundary. I wanted to protect myself. And so I went from this facade to this broken girl who dropped out of college. I became a pack-a-day smoker, didn't know how to handle the trauma that I had been through, and I'd isolated myself from everyone in my life. So I ate, and I smoked pot, and I drank, and I dropped out of school, and I numbed everything. And it felt like I was a complete failure before I'd even gotten started. And so I literally dusted off the DVD that was on the landing of the basement stairs going down to my parents' basement. I lived at home, obviously. I wasn't really doing much with my life. And I made this vow to myself that I was going to do a workout for every cigarette that I smoked because I was trying to quit. And I have asthma on top of that. It was really messy. And so that's how I started with Beachbody. And I wasn't on Facebook. Wasn't on a lot of social media. I was very embarrassed about the decisions I had made in my life. I don't know if any of you guys had been in that spot before. Just deactivate and pull out from society. But I was on Twitter. And that is where I found my coach, Shayna. She was a area promotions director for Chalene Johnson. And she said, your results are amazing. I think you should do this. And I signed up. And I didn't know what it was, but I signed up. And I was an inactive coach for 9 months. I don't think there were challenge packs at that point. But then this man named Rob came into my life. And I met him actually at a Turbo Kick training. I later found out that he signed up for this training with my coach to meet me. And so he had recently lost 100 pounds with Shakeology and Insanity. And he had been told by a friend he could never do this. They watched this infomercial at 2 a.m. Rob, you can never do this. He had been heavy his entire life. And it took about a year, but he completely changed his life, his health, his body. And so the reason I'm going into depth with this was the foundation of our business was true transformation. My corporate career before I became a coach, I worked for Avon. I was in IT, in release management. And so what just happened with the Coach Online Office was what I did for a living. I coordinated all the resources to make that happen. And then when it didn't work, it was my job to coordinate all the releases and fix it. So I have a lot of grace for them right now, even though there are some hiccups. But good things are coming. And you could never convince me to sell lipstick. Like I would never do that. My mom worked there for 30 years. I would never do that. But this was different and this was meaningful. And I really believe that if you have a story and a true life-altering transformation because of this company, don't stop. It doesn't matter what your paycheck looks like. It doesn't matter what other people are doing around you. You have a story that needs to be heard. And if you don't have that story yet, what's stopping you? Today can be your day one. Tomorrow can be your day one. But get that transformation, because it was this transformation that carried us to figure out this business. And I so appreciate, I'm very humbled by Josh saying such nice things about our integrity in this business. But the first few years of this business, we were simply on Instagram. My coach signed me up. I wasn't part of Facebook groups. I wasn't part of trainings. I didn't know what coach courtesy was. I knew nothing, but if I'm a good coach, I need to get results and I need to share it and inspire people. And I have about 48,000 followers on Instagram, but I have to tell you that about 25,000 of them I built in the beginning of Instagram. And I had been really struggling to figure it out. But my entire business, like I'm talking 99.9% of my business and Rob's business has been built through cold leads and strangers on social media. And so it's a really important part of the way that I grow. And I want to teach you guys kind of the things I'm figuring out, because Instagram stories was not around when I started building my business, but we literally were sharing our story and people were like, where can I sign up? How can I do this with you? And I think it was a combination of cluelessness and like ignorance on fire and just true belief in these products that helped us do that. So we've been doing this for 6 years. We coach together. We coach full time. My success, my accolades is 80% Rob. I'm just the person that's doing the creative side. He's really the most incredible leader and incredible mentor. And so all of that stuff I share with him. But tonight, what I'm going to share with you guys is my experience with Instagram stories. It is where I feel like it's the next uncharted territory. And from my experience, Snapchat was kind of a flop because you had to get people there. You couldn't find people there. You couldn't target people there. But Instagram stories has been where I am meeting my newest coaches, my newest challengers, where I'm building trust, where I'm building my brand, where I'm showing people what I do behind the scenes. And I want to share that with you guys. Also, I'm sharing my steps to work smarter with stories. There's a lot of stuff to do in this business. And so if you can make one task cover 10 different things on your checklist, you're going to be able to enjoy your life and your hard work a lot more and not be as exhausted and drained by all the things that could just distract you or could end up on your power hour list. Personal and passive invitations, some specific action items to take, and tools to make your life easier, as well as some additional tips and tricks. So I don't know if any of you guys were at Summit this year. This Summit was very different for me. I feel like every event, I kind of, whether it was Success Club or Summit or Leadership, and guys, I have not missed an event since 2013 when it was my first event. So make it a priority, because it is what carries me. It is what checks me. It is what inspires me. But this year, for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was totally off base. Like, I was not running my team the right way. I was not recruiting the right way. I was not working smart. I just had so much to do when I got home. And so what I did was I got home and I scheduled 30 phone calls with my coaches. For you, if you're just starting to build your team, that would be like 30 prospect calls that you can still put that much work in, even if you don't have your team yet, or, a lot of challengers. I was just like, okay, let's do it. Let's work hard. And I climbed into this hole, and I was putting in all this work, and then I got really sick. And it was like a Sunday, and I was exhausted, and I've been struggling with adrenal fatigue. And I get this voice memo from my coach, my personally sponsored coach. Her name is Jamie Innes, and she is crushing it. So if you're looking for somebody to follow on social media, she was #1 in the company in January, because she had so many leadership ladder development points, because she's just cranking out star diamond leaders, and she does it with grace. And I'm like, dang, this is my coach who all of a sudden is at my heels. And she sends me this voice memo, and she's like, where are you? Like, I love you. I appreciate everything you've done. Your recognition is amazing. Where is my coach? Because I don't see you on social media. And we had this like kind of come to Jesus moment where she's like, I don't see you putting in the work. I see you. And I'm like, I've been on the phone with 25 of my coaches doing hour-long calls. And she's like, I don't see that. And we had just moved. And it's not pretty. Like, none of it has been pretty. None of it has been Pinterest worthy. None of it has been, this curated social media content. And she's like, that is what we need to see. That is what is working for her. That is what inspires people. That is what's showing the true coach opportunity. And I think that this network is changing a lot, where, a few years back, maybe 3-4 years back, like the asset, the edge you could have on your team. Her name was Jamie Innes, Innis. The asset that you could have for your team and the edge was training. It's like if people signed up with coaches because they had great trainings and they could share with them all this information, but now trainings are everywhere. And what I'm finding and what I'm seeing my most successful coaches, and I'm seeing the most success for myself, is community and being transparent and being a part of this. Not a perfect website, not a perfect coach preview. Like, show people what it looks like. Show them your coffee cup on Instagram stories. Show them that you can go and run to the dog groomer in the middle of the day, and show them that you're on a Zoom. What is a Zoom? My goal now with Instagram stories is everybody knows what coach life looks like, because I don't want to sign people up and put all this energy into them, and then they realize, I don't want to do this. That looks like hard work. I want to show them. I want to show my challengers. I want to show my team. I want to show my prospects, this is who I am. This is what I do. And if you want to work your butt off, if you want to live a life unlike anything you could possibly dream of, I want those hard workers on my team. I got to show them that now, and I have the opportunity to do that. So she checks me, and I've been sharing my journey on Instagram stories, and it has made all the difference. My team sees me showing up. My challengers see me showing up. So I'm going to share with you specific stuff that you can take in terms of Instagram stories. So work smarter. Number 1, use stories for yourself. This is the ultimate accountability. Number 2, use stories for your challengers. 3, use stories for your coaches. And 4, use stories for your prospects. So instead of having to have a to-do list and a pipeline for each one, you can use this tool in a really simple way that begs you to be raw and real and as you are, because ultimately that's who you're going to have to be once you get on a phone call with a challenger or a coach, all of it works together for good, so you can take a little bit of rest and enjoy the fruits of your hard work. So what I want to ask you guys, and I have some specific action items, is if there was no coaching opportunity, what would you be doing anyway? If you are looking for some PD, this is like a total side note, but I just feel like I wish I worked on off of commissions recommending this podcast. It's called the Life Coach School Podcast. And I binge probably 4 to 5 podcasts a day. And it's been about 3 weeks of this. And I can't get enough. And it's changing my entire freaking world. But Brooke Castillo, the host of this podcast, she talks about burnout, how burnout is exchanging your joy for today for future joy. So it's not about sacrifice. It's not about hard work. It's about you literally putting off your happiness until tomorrow. You know, sucking it up, gritting your teeth. Sometimes, you know, that's what we think good leaders and good coaches has to do. That whole Grant Cardone 10X, like, you know, hard work is absolutely a part of the equation, but you can enjoy the process. And in fact, it's necessary. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, I have not enjoyed what I, as my job as a coach before. And that's how I get burned out. I start doing things out of obligation. And so what happened was, this is kind of a funny but also scary story. You guys know when there's a coach cancellation, and first of all, I want to share with you, I've had a lot of coach cancellations. So if you've had a coach cancellation, like 1 or 2, I bet I've had more than you. I bet I've had 100. It is not a sign that you are a bad coach. It's a sign that that wasn't right for them. And good riddance, only in the sense that it wasn't right for them. And you can spend your energy with somebody else. But I heard this story about the email that someone got an email, an elite coach, a superstar diamond coach got an email from Coach Relations that said they were canceling their own coach membership. Like they saw their own name, like in 24 hours, this will be deleted. And they freaked out because their entire business could have been wiped out. Now, this was only a glitch. And for whatever reason, it was putting that name and that email, but this person shared it in one of our groups. And I was just like, what would I do? What would I do 6 years into this business if my coach account got deleted? And I really thought about it. And I want you guys to think about that. And what I realized was I would sign back up again. I really would. It would suck. I would cry. I'd have a meltdown. I'd drink how many bottles of wine. I would have a pity party, but I would sign back up again. I would sign back up again. And I also asked myself the question, well, what would I do for free? Like, what if the coach opportunity just went away? Like, what if it totally went away? I'm not saying this to scare you guys. Like, this is a sobering question. I'm like, what would I do for free? What would I absolutely do because I just love it? Like, it gives me energy. It gives me life. It makes me happy. And the answer to those 2 questions is what you need to be doing every day, non-negotiable. It's the things that you have to work into your business, and it's okay if the top coach doesn't do it, and it's okay if the national wake-up call says you shouldn't do it, and it's okay if somebody else does something different because they're finding their joy, but you're gonna get burnt out and you're not gonna go very far if you don't find your joy. So I don't need you guys to do this right now, because I want to stay on track and I want to honor your time, but I want you to write out that question or just take a picture of this question. What daily activities bring you joy and give you energy? They don't take away, they give you energy and they give you inspiration. For me, no lie, that is lip syncing and dancing. Like I'll take T25 and make it T75 because I take so many pause breaks. I love this song. I want to dance around to it. And I'm doing that on Instagram stories. And that for you may be meal prep. That may be, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is about this coaching opportunity, this thing that we do, if you would do it for free, you got to find a way to put that on Instagram stories because it's checking you that every single day you're doing something that's life-giving to prevent burnout. It's also really magnetic. And it's showing people, listen, yes, I make money off of this, but that's not why I do it. You can smell it. You can sense it in someone when this is their passion. And you can't take something, you may do something similar to someone else because you both love it, but you can't love it because someone else loves it. You have to love it because you love it. And it can be a passion for, a binary compensation plan. I don't know. Like, it can be that. If you are in love with network marketing and you love the structure and you love this business, be that guy, be that girl. But do what brings you joy about this business and do it on Instagram stories. So the second question that I want to ask you is, are you being your best challenger? Because now's the time to prove it. This is where your challengers, your coaches, your upline, your success partner, your peers, your followers, your future coaches, your future customers, they're going to check you on this. Are you showing up? Because you have the opportunity with one click, with one photo, with one small video of you doing one workout move to show people you are leading from the front. And so this is sort of like a second layer of accountability to use Instagram stories. Now, I know that a lot of you guys, you may not have a team that's on Instagram. You may not have, a team culture that's on Instagram. So another homework assignment that I have for you guys tonight, or an action item, is to create a team hashtag that's searchable. You can search every story that has a certain hashtag. If you want to create a hashtag for your personally sponsored coaches, if you want to create a hashtag for your challenge group, get that out there and get people looking on Instagram, because one, it's going to drum up engagement and excitement and community and culture on your team. But what it's also going to do, it's going to put eyeballs on you so they know you are leading from the front. And that is the best way to add energy to your challenge. So your second action item, first we had what brings you joy. Number two was, number 1B was to create a team hashtag for you guys to go on Instagram together and be there together. Even if it's not a prospecting tool, do it to be together. I feel like this network is shifting toward community. People want to get on Zooms together and power hour together. And so just any opportunity you can to be together, do it. And then number two, what are the activities in your journey that make you proof and your own best challenger? That's pretty convicting for a lot of you guys. It was very convicting for me. Listen, 10 to 15 pounds over the last 6 years, I've been there. I've been there in my business, in my life, where I was not showing up because I was wrapped up on so many other things in management mode, or losing my joy, or burnt out from coaching because I stopped doing the things that I love. And so if you are there, know that that is natural. Know that the best of the best are often not the best challengers, but they check themselves and they realize, I got to get back in the game. It's about giving yourself grace and then giving yourself tough love. And guys, like, our business is the comeback business. So if you ever feel like, well, I'm too far gone, or, it's been too long, or, maybe this is the first team call that you've been on in a very long time. And I want to congratulate you for making your comeback. We honor, we celebrate, we give loads of money and recognition to people who have before photos and turn them into after photos. And you can apply that physically in your business. You can apply it to your vital behaviors. You can apply it to how you show up and you add energy to your team pages, your upline and downline team pages, how you post on social media, how you get the personal development books. It's almost better to not be consistent. That's not true. But it's like when you are on top of your game constantly, you're not as celebrated as people who just come back and they show up. And so know that will be celebrated if you are in that place where you're not being your best challenger. And I dare you, okay. So when I get asked this question a lot, like, what is your number one tip for inviting? And my number one tip for inviting is do a program start to finish. Get results. Like, if you do that, if you commit to a program start to finish, you will have to put up caution tape signs and barriers to get people to stop messaging you, because that's what this business is. And we make it so complicated. Share your journey. I even dare you not to do a call to action. Like, if you don't have, fast approaching goals and you're just like, I want to try this thing out, get results, and you will get people asking you about what you're doing. All right, tangent. I got to get back on track. Okay, number 3. If your coaches, and this is something I think Melissa McAllister said it, which means I think Zig Ziglar said it, and I think Jesus said it. Like, everyone always rolls back. But if your coaches did what you did today, would they be successful? Would they? Listen, I answer that question a lot, and the answer is no. And I check myself, and I write a to-do list for tomorrow. I've been in management mode. I have been, completely complacent, but ask yourself that question. And the reason that Instagram stories can do this for you is you can post a photo of yourself in your office. You can post a photo of yourself, making a to-do list. And I know that sounds like corny stuff, but people want to see it. I can't tell you how many people want to know exactly what notepad I'm using, or exactly what journal, or exactly what pen. And what's really cool about Instagram stories is that people respond to each snap or each story that you post. So if somebody says, hey, what pen is that? What shoe is that? What hat is that? It used to make me so frustrated. I was like, Google it, figure it out. Like, Google blue shoe and figure it out. But what I realized is that person is starting one of my 10 conversations each day for me. Oh, it's a blue pen. I love it. I use it for my business. Are you a coach too? Oh, these are my whatever sneakers. I'm using it for Shift Shop. Have you ever heard of that program? So they're actually, people are like, it's not saturated yet. Instagram stories isn't, it's the way Instagram used to be. It's the way that like pages used to be. This is the time to get in before everyone gets in. So your action item for this is to make a list of your coach habits and then decide which ones that you can post on Instagram stories. So it could be a miracle morning that you're doing, at 5 a.m. People always want to know what I'm doing at 5 a.m. How do I do it? It could be you putting on your sneakers. I know my husband is obsessed with Jordans. He's obsessed with sneakers. He wants to talk to anybody that, has nice sneakers, how they clean their sneakers. So take a picture of your sneakers. Your sneakers can be your joy in your business. Like, I'm dead serious on this. But make a list of the things that you do each day. And say, am I doing the right things? And 2, which one of these can I post on Instagram stories? And I'm going to show you some specific examples because I know that a lot of this stuff is like great in theory, but sometimes it's hard to come up with some ideas. So I'm going to show you that. So let me just figure out. Okay. Sorry, I have a lot of slides and I want to make sure I'm getting through these. So what you end up with when asking yourself these questions: what brings me joy? Am I being my best challenger? If my coaches did what I did today, would they be successful? When you really take the time to ask yourself those questions, when you really take the time to do those things, the conundrum, the question, well, what do I post on Instagram stories? It really, it answers itself, all of this. And you may think, well, none of this stuff is relevant. None of this stuff is, who's going to think this is interesting? Well, the person who's going to want to join your team and wants to know what you're doing and is, maybe super wants to open up a business but doesn't know how they can do it, or wants to sign up as a coach but doesn't realize how much support is available to them, or wants to start a program but doesn't realize they can modify and play their own music in the background. Like, that's the kind of stuff that gets people to say yes. They want to see that you're real. And I think the thing that's really important to remember, and I have to check myself with this, is when you have a standard of perfection for yourself and for success that's this high, all of your coaches then think they have to be that perfect. But when you allow yourself to kind of scrub yourself down and be who you are when you're with your partner or your very best friends, one, you're going to attract people who think you're funny and think that's cool and would want to hang out with you, which is the best, because I've signed up people on my team that I don't like to hang out with and I don't want to hang out with and I don't get and I don't think like them, and it's the worst. And I'm starting to attract people that I'm like, I like you. You're cool. You're smart. You're, I'm not trying to say that's like me, but we share the same things. Like, if you have the same hobbies, that person doesn't really drain you. You give and take and you give and take. And you know, that shift that I'm feeling in this network from training based as an edge to community based, I'm feeling a shift in the upline, downline, you know, sponsor relationship where it's so much less about being a resource and so much more about being in relationship. Like, I wish I could be, you know, BFF with my coach. I know a lot of my team just wants to be in relationship with me. And I know that sounds scary sometimes if you're building your business online, because like, I don't know these people. But what ends up happening when you're in relationship with your team, they have to respect your boundaries too. When you are a resource to somebody, you are Google for them. They don't go to FAQ. You need to respond to them at every second because you're like Alexa. And I want to be, my team that I lead, my challengers that I work out with, I want them to be my ride or die. I want them to be just like me. I want them to respect that I have a personal life and be in a relationship where we care what the other person feels and care what the other person needs. So this kind of transparency through Instagram stories is really kind of like filtering out the people that are going to be a mess. Even if you sign them up, they will be a mess. And so it may feel a little bit awkward or weird to just like really put yourself out there, but you're doing yourself the biggest favor. All right. You will find your own joy. You will show your challengers you're in it with them. You will lead your coaches by example, and you will attract people who want to do what you do, not just be a famous Instagram celebrity or get rich quick. Like, show them the grit. So here are some specific examples, guys, of how I use Instagram stories. So the normal camera is what I use to take pictures. I take videos out of selfie mode. So the back-facing camera, I use it to take videos in selfie mode if I have nothing to prop up my phone. I also upload screenshots. So I will screenshot, you know, an amazing post or an amazing message from Facebook, and then I will upload it to my Instagram story. I ask permission for whoever, you know, is sharing the message if it's not mine before I post it. But what a great way to share your challenger testimonials or some awesome engagement or something really funny that happened in your coach and challenge groups that most people wouldn't see. Like, what an awesome passive, you know, preview to what you do without having to organize a coach preview. So just some examples. Almost every day I share a video of me walking my dogs. For anybody who wants the freedom to leave their job and walk their dogs, seeing this girl walk her dogs whenever she wants at 10 a.m. is part of me sharing what I do in my coach life. The second photo, I run a miracle morning from 5:45 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. And I open up a Zoom call and I mute, everyone's muted, so nobody has to present or talk, but my coaches have the opportunity to wake up early and do their workout or do personal development or their to-do list or their invites in community. And so I always, when we do that, I share a preview of that. And people are always asking me, what are you doing? Why are you up that early? And it's a great conversation starter. I was traveling. Anytime I travel, anytime you travel, make sure that you post about it. People love seeing that kind of stuff. I also share my meals, and I use the captions to kind of share what I'm eating. And then another is just like a video. I use a lot of filters, and I think people enjoy you just being silly and using the filters. The second feature that I use is Boomerang. And so if you guys don't know what Boomerang is, it basically captures a quick silent video in forward and then reverse. So it just becomes like this funny little animation. So I would recommend a shake, blow a kiss, flex, you know, dance around, jump, some sort of expression. I had one of my coaches come to my house before Super Saturday, and we worked out that morning at 6 a.m. So we did a flex Boomerang. I do my energize almost always in a Boomerang. I am very OCD about color coding things, so I did a Boomerang of my workout closet. And then my husband looked very, very handsome on the way to a wedding, and so I captured his wink. And I know that sounds silly, but I want to attract women who are obsessed with their husbands. Like, they have strong marriages, They're like, that's who I want to work with because that's who I am. I love my husband and I'm tired of settling for anything less than the kind of person I want to work with. So it captures movement and emotion very quickly. But it delivers more than a photo and less than a video. It's that perfect wheelhouse, that perfect sweet spot of the attention span of our social media followers. So it's a cool way to kind of add some dimensions to your photos. And then we use hands-free a lot. So I use it to take videos of myself talking, and I also use it to take videos of myself moving. So I'm going to share with you after this slide a few of the tools and the equipment that I use to make this easy. So I'm not frustrated in spending 30 minutes on one video or one photo. But the one on the left, I actually, for whatever reason, was listening to personal development over hip hop during my workout one day. So I shared my takeaway from my PD in my workout clothes and then made a book recommendation. And that's just adding small value. But again, it's showing my team I'm working out. I'm growing myself. I'm also attracting people who would want to read Brené Brown. Well, if they're reading Brené Brown, they probably want to work on themselves. Well, wouldn't it be cool to have a community that supports you in your personal growth? See how that all spirals together? I also use it. I think people like to see more of your body and more of your body movement and your expression. So hands-free is really helpful to tell stories and just to, talk. I think people trust you a lot more when they can see more than your face. So you're not like a catfish and they see you're a real person. I also do at least, 1 to 3 moves of the day or like moves from my workout, and I show people I'm not just taking a sweaty selfie, I'm putting in the work and this is what it looks like. And then people will normally ask, what workout is that? Or what workout do you do? And then that's, again, a started conversation that I can use to invite. And then I was doing country heat. So here are some examples of hands-free. All right. Here are some tools to make your life easier. And I promise you, they will not break the bank. This is one of the best things that you can do with your first or, a percentage of your coach income is reinvest in your business so that you can do things more efficiently. So the top left right here, this is probably $5 at Walmart or Amazon. What it is, it's a hands-free Bluetooth smartphone remote. So they're $5. So we have like 8 of them. And we put them in drawers all over the place. And so instead of having Rob have to take a photo of me or me having to set the timer and run away, I just, sync it up and I hold that, that remote as I take photos of myself. I also use the app burst mode. I know that may be old news, but for some of you guys, that may be the answer to your problems. And you basically set, I want to take 250 photos every half a second, and it takes just bursts of photos, and then you delete the ones you don't want. The second thing that I use is this suction cup smartphone mount. And I actually use this for many reasons. So we have one in our car, we have one in our bathroom, we have one by the kitchen sink, we have one by our washer and dryer. And so I'm either listening to team calls, I'm on YouTube watching team trainings, I am, using Instagram for myself, but I have these little suction cups all over my house, so I don't have to run and scramble and find it. I'm either making the most out of mindless tasks like laundry or washing my face at night, listening to PD, or sharing that with people, and it's already locked and loaded. Or I use it for Instagram stories, which is really helpful. And honestly, there's nothing worse than getting frustrated with taking a video or a photo 10 times and then you don't actually care and you walk away like pissed off, and it's not good. The other thing that I have is a full tripod for my smartphone. And we have one on each floor, and we also have one in our home gym. And so that is always there. So I don't have to try to prop it up against the TV. I just clip it in and I can take videos and I can take photos with ease. And then what I also have is this Gorilla Paw, I think, or Gorilla Claw, that you can use to, attach to a fence or, something that's not a flat surface. And a lot of this stuff I carry with me to the coffee shop, to church, in my car, because that's the kind of stuff people want to see. So I have some of this in my purse, and I know it sounds silly, but it's actually really, really helpful, and helps me, be on social media more without putting in more work. So I want to honor your guys' time, but I have some other tips with Instagram stories to help you be more efficient. So please take a screenshot of this. I'd be happy to share all these slides with Josh afterward if you want to, just focus on what I'm saying. But the first tip that I have is to open up your Instagram stories and click on the gear. And when you do that, it's going to open up settings for just Instagram stories and set it to save shared photos. And what that means is that it automatically shares photos and videos from your Instagram stories to your camera roll. And so you don't have to go back in and save it. And so what I do, I'm a challenger in all of my challenge groups. And so what I do is I use my Instagram stories as my proof in the comments of the daily check-in in my challenge groups, as my check-in. So it's allowing me to work smarter, but also giving me accountability to show up on social media because I have to use it for a check-in. So that's been really helpful for me. And it's also really fun. And another reason why this is great is because your challengers, you can get them doing that. They recognize the Instagram stories filters. You may want to create a team, or a challenge group hashtag that they use during the challenge. And so that's getting them comfortable posting on social media before you ever invite them to the coach opportunity. So it kind of kills a few birds. The second thing, always face the light. Always face a window and a natural source of light. I get asked a lot why my photos and my videos are so bright, and it's because I don't just anywhere I am get on social or take photos and videos. I always, I'm literally facing a window, and it always makes things look a lot better. Another cool thing about Instagram stories is you can link your Google Forms, you can your website, your Facebook group. You can link tons of things in your actual story, in the photo that you take. And so you could do a video and say, guys, I'm looking for 5 new challengers. On my next story, swipe up to fill out your application. And you wouldn't do it as corny as I just did it. But you would find a way to naturally do it. And then people can actually swipe up and it will take them on their browser to a form or a way to collect their information or a way to get them to join you or learn more about you. You could also just reference it. If you're like, I don't want to do that, you could just say, click on my bio if you want to join my next group. Another thing that you can do is you can see who is watching your stories. And so even if they never respond to you, you can start conversations. You can use that as your, old school network marketing master list. And you can start to add their Instagram names and build a relationship that way. If you see the same people are watching, that's somebody that's interested and is not swiping past your stories. Another way to get discovered is to use your location when it's appropriate. So not when it's at your house, not when it's at your kid's school, but when you're at Panera or you're at Starbucks or you're at, an arena. One of the best, ways to get your stories seen is linking your location. So just make sure you're safe about that. Another tip, focus on engagement and the percentage of your followers watching. So if you have 200 followers and you have 20 people watching your videos, that's a pretty good deal. I would say about 10 to 20% of my total followers even see it. So that to me is a really great percentage. And remember that to be a diamond coach, you need to sign up 8 people. To hit Success Club, you need to enroll 3 challengers. So you don't need thousands and thousands of followers. What matters is engagement. Invest in tools to make stories faster and easier on the fly. Create a team challenge group hashtag for Instagram. I covered those. Another thing that you could do is do a day in the life. So many people ask, what do you do as a coach? What does that look like? And it's pretty daunting to think about creating this like beautiful YouTube video or webinar on what that looks like. So just show them on the fly what a day in the life looks like. And then at the end of that day, do a call to action to submit applications or contact you about becoming a coach. I also share my vital behavior takeaways. I kind of massage that in a way that it's not like sleazy or like I did my sales stuff for the day, but I share my PD takeaways. I share my workout. I share, I recognize my challengers. I recognize my coaches. So, use that as accountability. Another thing that I want to mention is even just, I would say 1 to 5 posts a day lasts 24 hours. So I think it can be very intimidating to see somebody's Instagram story and think, I have to do all this stuff. But the reality is they did all that over a 24-hour period, and it really doesn't take that much time. It's like 30 seconds in their life. Another tip that I personally just have, don't watch too many consecutive stories from other people. Use it for inspiration, but for me, I get FOMO and overwhelm when I see too much of what other people are doing. And then my final tip is just to be you. I know it sounds corny, but it's true. Be original and be real. The most success, the most happiness, and the most joy I have ever found in my business is when I'm just like, screw all this. I'm going to help people. I'm going to do what I would do anyway. I'm going to do what I would do for free. And I had this big moment at the Diamond Retreat that we hosted last year, where my coaches, on the fly kind of went around and shared with me what they needed from me. Like what was the thing that really helped them, as my role as an upline. And everybody was like, when you are growing, when you are building your business, when you are getting results with fitness, when you are, obviously investing in yourself personally and growing and going to conferences, and just like you are leading from the front. And so I think this is an incredible opportunity for you to just kill all those birds and use it as accountability for yourself. Show your team you're showing up. Show your prospects they can be a part of something amazing and not have to do that back and forth. And take advantage of this social media phenomenon before it kind of becomes old news. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, so that was awesome, Chelsea. I'm going to have to go through. I know I can speak on behalf of everybody. Can we get those slides? Because I will be getting 100 messages from the coaches. Hey, can we get those slides? So that would be awesome. Listen, I actually just started. It's kind of an interesting thing for me because I just started really getting into Instagram. It's a little different for a man. It's weird, but I just started doing stories, and I love it. And all those tips that you gave were just absolutely fantastic. And I'm super excited to go through this again, because I didn't catch everything. There was just, my mind was going, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, it's constantly moving.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go through and I'll probably watch this video again, but I definitely like to check out those slides. A few things though, I saw that there were a few questions as we were going along. The swipe up, you have to be you have to have 10,000 followers, right?
Oh, okay. So I actually don't know the specifics about that. I do know that Instagram rolls out functionality when they test it. So one day, all of a sudden, somebody saw they had 4 photos in the grid, and then it was 3. So they roll out enhancements based on number of followers, but also what may impact that is if you are linked to your like page. I know I'm a business on Instagram. Okay. It does cut down my visibility, but I do have added functionality.
Okay. All right. That's a good thing. So I got a few followers. I got about 20-something thousand followers over on my like page. I need to link it over to Instagram. But you're right. Instagram stories it just seems like the thing, because I feel like Facebook is really limiting what you can do and how much of your audience you can actually reach out to. But that's not the case right now with Instagram. So I think it's a huge opportunity that we absolutely have to take advantage of. Now, one other thing, and I don't know if you have this, but I have something on my phone called a sticky case.
No, tell me.
So listen, it's called the sticky case, and you just go to Amazon. It's like $10. Literally, it'll stick to any window. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually show you guys. Right? This is good, like a product placement here. All right.
Dude.
And it fell. But it sticks. My window is just super, super dirty. But anyways, it'll stick to any metal. It'll stick to granite. It'll stick to windows. Yeah, it is the coolest thing ever. So if you haven't gotten one yet, you need to go check it out. It's on Amazon.
Wait, like, and what a smart investment! Like, and it's nominal. It's really not. It's not a huge academy or Facebook ad, investment. Right. It's definitely
So, anyways, I don't know. So do you have a few minutes for some questions? Because I know there's a lot of people with questions. So.
And I just want to say I could feel like I was like, wow, this is a lot of stuff, but I wanted to deliver it all to you guys, and I'm happy to stay as long as it takes, as long as it honors you guys and your time.
All right. So do you guys have questions? So if you have questions, just chat. Don't unmute yourself, but chat, and I can read it, and she's checking it out too. So.
And see, guys, I'm not lying. I have these tripods everywhere, and it's really helpful.
Okay, so she asked, what are your thoughts on sharing your story to your Facebook now that the feature is available?
That's a great question. So I think that ultimately you have to ask yourself, do I have people on my Facebook list that I want to reach? I will, you can actually save your entire story. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll save my entire story and then I upload that once. Sometimes I only take certain story photos and videos and I upload it to Facebook. What's cool is you can see who's seeing it and take a look at who's watching it. I get like 10 people and I have 17,000 followers and maxed out friends list. And so I'm like, this isn't worth my time. So if you have an untapped Facebook page with prospects, I say absolutely do it. If it's an extra second and you can see who's interested and who's watching, that's somebody that's a lead that you could reach out to.
And Michael McBride asked, where do we search for stories hashtags?
Great question. So I believe if the hashtag is used, I just did it with my team hashtag today, it should show up at the top. So if you were to type in the tag, let me just see if I can use this as an example. When there is a live, when there is like a live story, it should be at the top. I'm going to choose New York. Yeah. Okay. So I chose New York as a hashtag and I typed it into the search functionality where it says you can search for tags and at the top is a circle. And then everybody who hashtag New York, it just goes through like Snapchat. So people can find you that way.
That's cool. So wait, okay, hold on. Now I'm confused because, listen, I'm just new to this. I want to make sure I understand that. So with the stories, you can hashtag a story?
Yes. So one thing that you can do once you take, let me take a picture of this. Okay. So once you take a photo, there should be a smiley face square at the top.
Yep.
And when you click that, that's where you can add your location, the time, the temperature. And there's an option that says hashtag right there.
Oh my gosh. That's
and
so cool.
It should tag it. And that's where you can also do polls. And people can vote yes or no, or you can type in the two answers and people can vote, what shirt you should wear, or, I did it today with my hair color. Becky, yes, the hashtag story will only be searchable for 24 hours because your story is going to disappear in 24 hours. Sweet.
Sorry, I'm storying right now.
Okay. No, it's all good. I can actually look. Okay, so Amanda, I save the videos to my phone because I use like the workout videos as my challenge group check-ins. And then if I'm doing a boomerang of my to-do list, I might share that in my coach group and be like, all right, guys, let me see your to-do list. So I'm creating content that can kind of be used everywhere. And then also I just like to have it. I know that the Kardashians are very polarizing, but there is no mistake that they're incredible with social media and branding. And I've noticed in their like latest Sizzler reels and the way that they do the editing for their show, like the transitions between stuff are all of their social media, photos and boomerangs. And so I just like to save it. So maybe like one day I can create a compilation of all my workout moves or all my productivity boomerangs. And I use Dropbox to save all. Actually, no, I lied. I use the Google storage, the Google to save that stuff. Okay. What do you do on Instagram that you feel has given you best results as far as return on investment? Okay, so one of my hashtag secrets is I choose 15 hashtags that are super huge because I'm going to get auto likes, I'm going to get auto comments, and I respond to every single one. And usually it's like when I'm trying to kill time. The other 15 I use anything from like 20,000 to maybe 100,000. And what happens is the 15 hashtags that I use that are super big, that get me extra likes and extra comments, kind of create this affinity, which puts me in the top photos of the smaller hashtags. So it allows me to be at the top where other people are paying whatever service to like my photo. And I'm just like, thanks for the boost. And so that's really helped me be more visible. I also think if you can find an account, like a feature account that has hundreds of thousands of followers and invest maybe, $20, $40 in a shout out. It's a little risky. You do it through PayPal or Venmo, and just make sure that you find an account that has followers that are your ideal customer or coach. So I'm not going to pick one that's like a bikini competitor or like really revealing girls' photos. I'm going to pick a more normal, representation of women and make sure that those followers are kind of like my ideal followers. And then I've done it before. I'll get maybe 100, 200 followers that way. And at least it's like generating new leads. But hashtags and great consistent content has really been the way that I've built 95% of my following. And I also put it on Facebook too. So I'm doubling down on my social media. Erin, I respond to every comment, and I heard a tip that if people respond with 5 or more words, then it kind of indicates like it's a relevant conversation versus just like, cool, nice. And so I try to respond with 5 or more words. I know it's ridiculous, but it actually has helped with, bumping my post to the top. And so I will respond to, a heart emoji. Thank you so much for taking the time to comment that, if it's a bot or something.
There's a lot of questions. So just pick like 1 or 2 more, and then we'll just call it quits here.
Okay. Let's see. Did I miss? I think I answered that one. Okay. So do you work with Instagram people via direct message and keep it there, or have them add you over on Facebook? So I do DMs, and actually one thing that I do is I send video responses. So if someone's like, I'd love to join your team, or I'd love to hear more, I'll be like, hey girl, I'm just finishing my workout, but I want to let you know I'm going to send you an email. And so it like bridges that gap, and all of a sudden they see your reel. So I try to use that on Facebook Messenger as well, and it's worked really well. I hate communicating there though, so I try to capture their email, or my bio link is, I don't have Linktree yet. I am so late. I think a lot of you guys use Linktree on Instagram, but my link is a free Facebook community that I run. So I'm like, you know what? Just request to join this group and I will add you that way. So I try to take the work away from them and then get them to Messenger. Oh, guys, I'm going to send Josh this as well. I found a Apple desktop app that allows you to do direct messenger on your computer. And I haven't used it yet. I'm giving you it all. I totally forgot about that. So I haven't used it, but it's the only one. It was just developed, and I will send you the name of that. Maggie, what's a grid? Like, do you mean like, do I set up a pattern on Instagram?
Is she talking about like multiple pictures? Is that what she's talking about? She might be.
I think grids for Instagram is what the app is called. I think the one that I saw was like direct message for Instagram. I think that's what it was called. So maybe there's more now, but we're all not going to have as much carpal tunnel. That's amazing.
Cool. I think you got them all, didn't you?
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, that's the app she's talking about. So.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for rolling with me and all these slides.
Man, my head hurts. Like, I don't know. I just love these calls because it just gives me so many ideas. I learned so much from you guys. Just everybody else in the network. I don't know, man. It's super cool that you're willing to do this and share a lot of knowledge with us. Yeah, let me know. I think we talked, right? I'm talking on your call, right? Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. I have it scheduled, but we'll talk about it. And yeah, I can say this on behalf of everybody else. Like, thank you. Like, legit, thank you so much. It's really, really appreciated. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for you, and thank you for taking the time out. I know you're busy, and I know you guys are busy too. So thank you guys for hopping on here. It's late. I mean, the East Coasters, what? It's like
9:38.
It's getting late. It's like bedtime for me, man. So, well, listen, Chelsea, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll get a hold of you and get those slides and whatnot. And let me know the name of that app too, because I use my desktop all the freaking time. So, all right, guys. Until next week. I think I have another speaker coming, so you guys will be pretty surprised. So, anyways, thanks so much. See you guys. Have a good night.